Hey, what's up, everyone? So, in this video, we're going to be breaking down a free case study on how we helped one of our clients, a mindset coach, go from $0 a month online all the way up to just under $55,000 a month cash collected. You can see the exact figures on screen here, and just over $65,000 in contracted revenue in the same month. And we grew his audience from 233 followers, so basically nothing, all the way up to 32,300 followers. So super exciting case study lined up for you here. It's a very, very detailed breakdown. And I guarantee you're going to walk away from this video with concepts and ways of thinking that you've never heard before. Okay. So let's get into it here. By the way, we achieved all this growth without sending a single cold DM. So all the leads came nurtured to us and ready to buy. We also did this without being famous. So we had no prior history online, no YouTube channel, no fake Forbes publications. And we did this without sacrificing our soul to make sales. So no TikTok dances to go viral, no hard flexing Lamborghinis, and no discounts to get clients. Okay, I'm not against hard flexing, but we didn't even need to do it in this case. And we did all this while achieving a 6.4 times return on our ad spend. You can see our life to date stats over here. So we combine paid and organic marketing in a very unique way that I don't see anyone else talking about. That's allowed us to spend $51,000 life to date and generate back just under $385,000 for this offer. So this way we can grow our business and our audience in a predictable, highly profitable manner. Again, just some of our life to date stats over here. Feel free to pause the video and read them. A final bonus here that I don't see anyone else speak on is we also achieve these results while only attracting our ideal client. So clients who are easy to work with, pay in full, and take the program seriously. In fact, we have a 0% refund rate with all the clients that we did onboard with this high ticket offer because they were all high quality and pre-nurtured. So using the methods I walk you through today, not only will you grow your business and your audience, but you'll do it in a sustainable way by only attracting your ideal client. Before we jump into the case study, please do me a quick favor and make sure your environment is set up to focus, meaning close out your other tabs, put some headphones on if you're in public, and give this your full attention. This breakdown took a long time to put together, like several days, and I genuinely hold nothing back. So if you aren't committed enough to watch a full 45 to 60 minute video, or you just genuinely don't have the time right now, it's better to just leave and come back when you do. But if you are serious about growing your brand and your offer, then let's get into it. Now, before we jump in, just some very quick proof here that we actually did the numbers that I'm claiming. So as you can see here, here's our monthly sheet. You can see our spend just over 8,000, total cash collected just under 55, and then contracted revenue here as well with all the ROI numbers and profit as well here. And then our life to date stats right here. So total spend and our total cash collected, contracted revenue, ROI, and just some additional cool stats here as well. You can see the total calls booked here, audience growth, and we're booking calls lifetime to date for this high ticket offer at $121. These are qualified booked calls, by the way. So who's this case study for? Who is it actually going to help? This will help you if you have a lot of experience in a field of expertise, e.g. you have results for yourself or clients, but you just don't know how to package that experience into a high ticket offer and grow an audience to acquire clients consistently. 2, if you're a creator with a large following, but you're earning jack squat, literally nothing because you don't know how to monetize your audience properly. 3, you currently have a proven high ticket offer and you're stuck between 5 to 20K a month, but you just can't crack the next level. Or 4, you're a business owner who wants to grow your influence and your revenue at the same time. If you fall into any of these buckets, this will definitely help you. Who this will definitely not help: if you do not have a proven high ticket offer or you do not have a genuine expertise that can be packaged and sold as a high ticket offer, you can leave now. If you're someone who needs to make money tonight, i.e. you just want a trick to grow your business and you don't care about the foundation, you don't care about attracting high quality clients or building a long-term brand, then this genuinely won't help you, okay? Because we're not trying to make money overnight. We're trying to build a brand that attracts clients long-term. And number 3, if you're not a business owner and you're just an influencer or a creator who wants to get followers, this also genuinely won't help you because the methods we talk about in this video are not strictly to go viral and get followers. They're to make sales. All right, so let's get into the breakdown right now. Before we dive into the 4 practical steps we use to build our audience and scale past $50,000 a month, you need to first understand one very important principle. And if you don't understand this principle, then none of the practical steps that I give you will work because you won't be able to apply them. So we have to start here. And that is that every funnel or client acquisition method whether it's a webinar, whether it's a VSL, whether it's a personal brand, all the methods that you've heard of out there, they all work, okay? And I should be the last one telling you this because I'm teaching you my method in this video, but I'm being honest. They all work, and anyone in any niche can grow their audience and business. But the reason 99% of business owners have a hard time growing their audience, attracting their ideal client, and making more money is because they don't fundamentally understand buyer psychology, which is the reason why people actually purchase things in the first place. Nor do they understand how to tap into this psychology in the correct order to convert cold strangers to hungry buyers consistently. And this lack of fundamental understanding is the sole reason why funnels and acquisition systems do not work for most people. It is not that the algorithm doesn't like you, it's not your market being saturated, and it's definitely not your ideal client being hard to reach. These are all limiting beliefs that are easily fixable symptoms when you master the fundamentals. But thankfully, since you're watching this case study today, you'll be able to avoid all of that and learn how we tapped into this psychology to effortlessly scale our offer. See, there's only 3 things that someone needs to buy from you. People like to make it complicated, but when you boil it down to the fundamental psychology, there's just 3 things. Someone needs to know who you are and what you do. They need to trust and like you, and they need a clear path to purchase. If all those 3 things are in place and they're firing correctly, making sales becomes very, very easy. And when we turn this over to an actual practical visual example, this is what every single online purchase actually looks like. First, someone starts up here in the green phase, knowing who you are and what you do. So this means when they first come in contact with you, it'll probably be from an ad or a piece of content. Somehow they see you and become aware of what you're doing. And this sparks the first question, which is, oh, this seems interesting. What is this about? That's what's happening in the prospect's mind when they first see a piece of content or an ad from you. So there's an open question. The next step they'll do from there is they'll go watch more of that same video. They'll go click a link or they'll go visit your profile. They might even Google you to try and get some more information if they're curious, okay? If it sparked their curiosity. From there, they'll find out who you are and what you do. So they'll say, oh, he/she is this, and they help people do this thing. If it relates to them, so if what you do and who you are actually applies to them, it can help them, they'll move on to the next step, which is trust and like you. But before they can get there, they have to go through this green phase here, which is just learning who you are. Once they know who you are, the next question is, and they know that what you do actually helps and applies to them, the next question they'll have is, okay, it seems good, but I wonder if I can trust him/her. And this is the point where you're supposed to show them some proof. So whether it's a funnel, whether it's a personal brand, whether it's anything in this world where you're trying to get clients, you want to show them some proof that you actually know what you're doing. When they see this proof, they'll think, oh, I guess it's real, but would I actually enjoy working with him or her? So every step in the buyer process, okay, from taking someone to a cold stranger to a customer, is just answering a series of questions in the customer's mind. And if you do it in the correct order, that's when you can scale your sales, okay? So the next question they'll have is, would I actually enjoy working with him or her? Okay, I know it works. I know it's for me. Would I enjoy it? This is where you need to give someone some time to get to know you. So they'll consume more of your content. They'll watch a long form training like this. Maybe you'll say something in one of the content pieces that relates to them or makes them laugh, or a joke they understand. They'll think, oh, yeah, actually, I could see myself working with this person. I know what he does. I know who he is. I can trust him, and I would enjoy working with him. At this stage, the only thing that's left to do is to give them a clear path to purchase. Okay, so they'll think, I wonder what the next steps are. And here you just hit them with a clear CTA, leads to a phone call, leads to a sale. Okay, seems quite simple when you put it like this from a bird's eye point of view, but that's what happens with every single online sale. And now that you're aware of this, the only question becomes, how do you do this in the most efficient and scalable or predictable way possible? And today I'll be walking you through the 4-step process we developed that combines Instagram with a few core assets to answer this question. These are the 4 steps. 1 is foundation, 2 is attention, 3 is nurture, and 4 is convert. Let's break these down in a little bit more detail. Number 1, foundation. In order for any of this to work, you need your foundation set. That means getting clear on your ideal client, your messaging, and your offer. This is the most important step, and I really can't state this enough. A lot of people skip this. They'll try to just look at what's working and try to hop on a trend. But if you do not fundamentally understand who you're trying to speak to, what your message is and what your offer is and how to convey it, then no matter what, you could use the best funnel in the world, the best advertiser in the world, you will get 0 results. So we have to start with the foundation. And today you'll get the exact prompts and research sheets we use to define our ideal client and our messaging so you can set your foundation too. Step number 2 is attention. Once you have a clear foundation, you need to be able to consistently generate new attention from your ideal client. This means getting your ideal client to know about you and what you do. This is just step 1 in buyer psychology, which we just covered. And we do this in 2 main ways: organic content and ads. And today you'll get the exact systems and templates we use for our content and ads so you can consistently generate attention from your ideal client too. And number 3 is nurture. This is a part that most people completely miss, but once you are getting attention consistently from your ideal client, they're knowing who you are, what you do, you need a repeatable system to nurture that attention so they actually trust and like you. Again, this is just step 2 in buyer psychology. And we do this in 2 main ways. So we nurture our ideal client through organic content and stories. Today, you'll get the exact scripts and sequences we use to nurture our audience so you can get your ideal client to like and trust you as well. And number 4 is convert. Once you have a nurtured audience of your ideal client, you need simple systems to convert those nurtured people into customers. In other words, you need a clear path to purchase. Again, just covering step 3 in buyer psychology. And we do this in 5 main ways. So there's 5 core components to this. 1 is a core training, 2 is a profile web, a DM setting script, a pre-call sequence, and strategic CTAs. And today you'll get the exact frameworks and automations we use for all these elements. Now, before we dive into step number 1, I just want to give some quick background on how we actually got here and developed this system. If this is your first time watching my content, first off, hello, thanks for tuning in. My name is Ben Melly. I'm the founder of Scaling Club. We grow and monetize personal brands just like the one you're watching today. And this system we use to grow and monetize brands was actually developed completely by accident. See, I got into the online space in a pretty typical fashion. I was 16, so pretty young in Ireland, and I saw people online, other people similar to my age, making the $10,000 a month claim. So kind of like everyone, I just thought, yep, that seems easy. I can do that. But like most people who thought it would be easy, I was very, very wrong. So I tried everything: trading, reselling, Shopify stores. You can see me, an old picture here. Nothing ever fully clicked, but I did get sparks of success, and it was enough to give me hope. And that's when I discovered these weird Instagram pages. You've probably seen these before. There's just like theme pages that post about money, and then there's these faceless pages that post about travel or post about cars. You probably even follow some of these on Instagram as well. And these were popping up everywhere. So they're pretty common right now. But back when I was at that age, they were pretty new. No one really seen them before. So I just thought, yeah, okay, that's a cool trend. Let me copy that. So you can see over here, I started my first page. I expected it to be a total flop. Created my first infographic while I was still in school, like in the back of class, and nothing happened. But about a week in, I got a post that went semi-viral, which means it just got 500 likes compared to 50. And at that point, I was hooked, completely obsessed. So I basically just locked myself in a room, doubled down on what worked, and I spent countless hours studying the Instagram algorithm and started pushing out 5 posts a day on this account. And kind of my first real success story, it actually paid off. So this account blew up to over 250,000 followers while I was still in school. You can see the account's still active today. It's closer to 650 or 660 now. And this snowballed into my first social media client. It was actually a tech company that hired me to handle their social media. And they flew me over to India to train their social media department while I was still in school. So at this point, I was kind of hooked on the whole online world. So I basically opted out of school and decided not to go to college. And that's when I went all in on this network of pages. So I hired a team, started to expand my network into other niches. You can see some other accounts growing over here. And we really mastered the art of getting attention. We pretty much got it down to a science. So we grew over 1 million followers. We were doing 100 million impressions or more every single month. You can see some over here. Videos were getting 15 million views. We were gaining 20 to 30,000 followers on each account every 7 days. So basically every week. And it started to snowball into something really big and something really cool. And the way we monetized this network of accounts was providing a very specific service to personal brands. And this service was how I accidentally discovered a new way that online coaches, service providers, and consultants were scaling high ticket offers to crazy levels with personal brands on Instagram. I'm talking about brands like they were making 100K a month all the way up to 800K a month. And they were publicly saying this. And they would pay us retainers to post ads for them on our network. So they would pay us, we would put up a post for them, and this would send traffic, followers, and leads back to their personal brand, which would which they would then convert into sales. And I knew for a fact this system was crushing it for these personal brands, because month after month, they would continue to pay my network and other networks to top up these series of ads. And some personal brands were spending over 6 figures a month just on these sponsored posts alone. And these weren't like fly-by-night tactics either. These were some of the biggest personal brands in the space. You've probably seen some of these guys before. They were all running these shoutouts on my network and other networks. So I was in a very fortunate position where I got a direct bird's eye view on the systems that dozens of 7- and 8-figure personal brands were using to both grow and sell on social media. They were all using the same playbook for ads, content, and conversions. And it worked in every single niche. I saw business coaches, mindset coaches, addiction coaches, women's coaches, but I never got to actually run this entire system from the ground up. We only provided the traffic to these personal brands. And that was until I met Justin, which is the case study we're breaking down in today's video. Justin sent me a DM on one of my theme pages a while ago and asked for a shout out. And he had 233 followers and 9 posts. They were pretty bad, but I think he'd agree with me now, sorry to say. But I still responded and I said, yeah, for sure, send over the creative and CTA. So I wanted to see, what was going on here. And he replied, what's CTA? Okay, so he literally had no idea what an ad was, what a CTA was, how to market, how to do anything. He was just sending me a DM trying to get some traffic to his page because he saw other people doing it. So I laughed for a minute, but then I thought, wait a minute, this is a perfect chance to test my theory. What if we could use these systems to grow and monetize a personal brand from the ground up? So we hopped on a call, and it turned out that Justin actually had a ton of experience offline, which was super interesting. He'd actually been a successful coach already for around a decade. So he was one of the head coaches at a $100 million a year personal development company. He'd worked with over 2,000 clients, and he had great results as well. But recently, his business partner at his old company had passed away, so he wanted to start his own coaching company and scale and offer online. He had a 6-month program with course modules already built out and a solid price point he wanted to charge at $9,000 US. And similar to the iceberg effect, he had a lot of great attributes hiding below the surface. He was a real expert in his field. He knew how to sell. He simply had no idea about content, ads, funnels, building an audience, acquiring clients. This knowledge gap around marketing left him relying on a lot of outdated tactics. So he was spending hours per day cold calling his old client list, posting in Facebook groups, sending 100 cold DMs a day. I was actually the only one who responded, by the way, which was quite lucky. It's a frustrating situation that a lot of talented business owners and industry experts find themselves in. And Justin, probably like a lot of you watching this video right now, knew he could help people. He knew he had a good product and he knew he could sell. He was just missing the front end of consistent client acquisition. So that's where we came in. We got to work modeling the playbook I already knew worked for 7- and 8-figure personal brands and built the system from the ground up that now allows Justin the luxury to have an audience of his ideal client, get dozens of inbound leads every single day, and never have to worry about where his next client's coming from. So jumping in here, let's cover the 4 steps. Now we're going to cover these 4 steps in a very specific order that you might not expect. So when we put the entire funnel together with foundation, convert, nurture, and attention, it's going to look something like this. We use the foundation, which is our ideal client profile, our messaging, and our offer as a base. And this trickles into everything we do. So when we're getting attention, running our ads and organic content, we're using the pain points and the desires and speaking to the correct person from our foundation right here. Okay. So that's how we know what language to use in our content and our ads. When we're creating our nurture content and our stories, again, the desires and the pain points are going to be reflected from what we design here, from what we define in our foundation. And the same thing when we set up the conversion systems, our core training, our web profile. The reason we're going to know what to say in this, how to script it, what copy to use, it all comes from defining the foundation. So that's the first thing we're going to do is start off. I'm going to show you how to define your ideal client profile, how to get your messaging, and how to define your offer. From there, we're going to go into the conversion system. So we're going to start from the base and build up. We go foundation. Then I'm going to show you how to set up your conversion systems, which is the core training, the web profile, the DM setting script, and the pre-call sequence. Now, the reason we start here is so when later we send traffic in, so we use content and ads to get traffic from our ideal client, we already have our conversion system set up. So that way our ads are profitable right away. Okay, so we set the conversion systems up first. Then I'm going to walk you through the sequences and the systems we use to set up organic content and stories to nurture our ideal client. And then only at the end of this case study am I going to show you how we actually run our ads and do organic content to get new attention from our ideal client. Because when we do it in this order, the attention is going to flow through. It's going to be speaking to the correct person. They're going to be nurtured. They're going to be converted, and it's going to work in a nice flow. And when you do things in this order, in the correct way, you 20 times the profitability of your ads, and you can start making money right out of the gate. I mean, one of the most insane stats we have for this case study is on month 1, when we had 233 followers. I think we finished off the month with like 800 followers. In that same month, we spent just under $2,000 on ads, and we cash collected $12,000. We also contracted $27,000 in this same month. So we spent $2,000 with 250 followers basically, and we contracted $27,000 in month 1. This is possible because we had our conversion systems. We knew exactly who we were speaking to, and we had nurture systems already set up. So then when we ran ads, it was easy. And then in month 3, again, just under 6,000 followers, so not a huge audience. We spent just under $5,000, cash collected $25K. And then in month 6, that's when we had our $50,000 month. Okay, you've already seen this, all right? But we were able to do this right out of the gate because we did things in the right order. And if you don't do things in the right order, you might end up like this influencer here who had 2 million followers and couldn't even sell 20 t-shirts. That's a real story, by the way. You can look that up. And the sole reason this happened was because she did things in the wrong order. She built her audience first and then tried to sell stuff later. You need to start with the end in mind. Okay, starting off here with the foundation. How do you define your ideal client profile? The first thing we did was define our ideal client. Now, this is basically just answering the question, who do we want to attract in our marketing? And we just did this through good old-fashioned market research. People get scared of this term. They think it's going to be really hard, but it's actually really easy. We just created a simple survey and sent it out to Justin's previous client list. We also do this today with every single client that we onboard. We get them to answer this questionnaire. So our client profile constantly gets more accurate and accurate as time goes on. So if you have clients right now or previous clients, this is an absolute must. So this is the exact template we used. It was just a Google sheet or a Google form that we sent out to all our previous clients and to all the clients we have today. So feel free to pause the screen. You can see we're asking about their age, occupation, relationship status. We're really building a detailed profile of who we want to attract and who actually buys our product. Same thing here, kind of getting a psych makeup on current challenges, primary goal, how you'll feel, ideal day, fears, etc., etc. We analyzed this and then created a simple mind map of all the common overlapping points. So we created a perfect customer profile based on the age, the relationship status, the family, the income. We really got this down to one person. Who are we trying to speak to? And then we also built a psych profile. So what are their pain points? What are the fears? What are the desires? One thing you'll notice when you do this is a lot of your clients or people you speak with will have the exact same fears, the exact same pain points, the exact same goals. Their ideal day that they want will probably even look the same as well. I mean, it's crazy how accurate this will become. And this gave us a crystal clear idea of who we wanted to speak to in all our content and ads, and ultimately who we wanted to attract. So we found that our average customer was 40 years old. They were married. They had 2 children. They had an average income annually of $100,000, and they were familiar with the niche already for 6 years. So they were already trying stuff, but it wasn't working. So you can see just this information alone is going to be so easy for targeting and content and ads. And because we defined this early on, we were able to use this as a staple in all our marketing, and we were able to attract these people effortlessly. This is just a screenshot from our back-end sales tracker, okay? So everyone, when they book a call with us, they get logged in here automatically so we can see their income, their country, their age. And the average age that we book calls with life to date is 39.5. So pretty much 40 years old, spot on, exactly what we wanted because we defined that early. And you can see the income right here, 80 to 100, 80 to 100, 100 to 250, 250 to 500, 500, high income earners because we knew who we wanted. A lot of people will blame the platform or algorithm if they're attracting tire kicker leads. I hear it all the time. But the truth is there's billions of people on these platforms, and the algorithm will only push your content to the group of people who are interacting with it most. So if you are attracting low quality leads, it's because you have no foundation. Either you haven't defined it or you have defined it and your messaging is off. Okay, so it can only be those two things. It's not external factors. And if you don't have a previous client list, okay, so some of you watching this might not have an extensive list and you might be thinking, Ben, what the hell do I do then? Two options. One, just talk to people. So go ahead, off online, in person, offer free consults to everyone you know who might be interested in this, and verbally ask them the prompts that I gave you. Okay, so just ask them these questions. You'll get a really good idea. The second thing you can do is just chat GPT it. So at a bare minimum, just get AI to help you. And you can use this prompt right here. I am, insert your niche, coach / agency / business owner, and I help. Who is your ideal client? Who do you want to help? I want to build a personal brand on Instagram and attract more of this ideal client. Please give me 20 pain points and 20 desires so I can create content. And here's an example here. Fitness coach that helps professional women lose weight. Okay, and when you ask it this prompt, it'll give you a really good idea of pain points and desires. Okay, but I recommend just actually speaking with people or getting your old client list because it'll be the most accurate. Second thing is messaging. So how do we define our messaging and what is it? Well, first off, messaging, in my opinion, is everything. Your online presence is your digital identity, and it should reflect you. Everyone loves to talk about offers, but in my opinion, messaging is just as important. Why? Well, there's thousands of competitors, just being honest, that are offering the exact same thing as you. And that's a fact you can't change. But the only reason a consumer would choose to buy from you is if they trust and like you more than the other people. It comes back to step 2 in buyer psychology, trust and like. Kylie Jenner, right here, there's a reason I have her on screen. Her company is valued at $1.2 billion. I think it's called Kylie Cosmetics. That's not because she has superior products. I don't think so. It's because there's millions of women around the world who love and admire her, and they'll just buy anything she sells. And you can do the exact same thing with your ideal client. Most business owners with personal brands fall into the trap of becoming Mr. / Mrs. How-To. And I guarantee you, a lot of you watching this video are falling into the exact same trap, which is just giving value by posting educational content because you've heard other people tell you to do that. For example, 3 tips to lose belly fat or 3 tips to grow your business. Okay, and these can be useful. Okay, these can absolutely be useful. People will like these. But if you only post that style of content, you're going to miss out on 50% or more of sales because you're not sharing your life story and your personal values. So one of the first things we did with Justin, and that you should do, was define his story and his personal values so we can share this. And this is the docs that we use. So the first thing we did was the you doc. This is everything about him. And you can use this, just like whip out a journal right now and follow these prompts. And you'll get so much clarity on how you can tell your story and what you should say online. Okay. So we went from childhood, school, first job, the moment everything clicked, the biggest loss. Okay. Sharing your losses on social media. The challenges are huge. You want to come across as a real person, not as a perfect AI machine that just succeeds all the time. The brand doc. Okay. This is also a very important doc to just think about when you're starting your brand. Who are your competitors? What do you love about your industry? What do you hate about your industry? What are your core values as a person? Who do you admire and why are you different? Okay. And we use this in all our marketing. I'll give you some templates later on about how we did this, but we use this in all our marketing to allow our audience to know, trust, and like us, while also attracting a tribe who share our similar values. And if you've never done an exercise like this before, I recommend it. You'll get a ton of clarity on your brand and you'll unlock a lot of unique content ideas to you. So let's jump into the offer next. Now, the offer is something you've probably heard a lot about. Everyone talks about it online after Alex Hormozi's $100 million leads or $100 million offer book. But the offer was actually the last thing we did with Justin. He already had a 6-month program built out and a decent handle on what the offer was. It was just lacking definition. And you need definition and clarity, crystal clear clarity around your offer in order to market it correctly, to convey the message. So I won't go in depth into offers in this video. I'll make a separate video on that, just covering offers. But this is the template that we ran through and why we did it. So this is the offer doc that we used with Justin in this case. First thing we did was define the big promise, which is the outcome claim that you're helping the customer make. So for example, if you're a fitness coach, it might be 30 pounds in 90 days without counting calories. Offer deliverables is just every single component that's happening in the offer. So what are you delivering to the client from the start to the end? The process is how are you conveying those deliverables? So there might be 20 things you give the client, but you wrap it up into 4 steps. So for example, in this video, I'm walking you through the 4-step process that we use to scale Justin, but you can see that when I'm actually explaining everything we did, there's like 100 steps. So there's like all these micro documents. These are all the deliverables. And then the 4 steps is the process. How do you wrap that up and define it for your marketing? The USP, this is the unique selling point. So this can be a guarantee if you have one, or it can just be what makes your offer different than others. Okay, timeline, refunds, guarantees, etc. Objections and limiting beliefs. This is something that I don't see people talk about, but it's super important. When you're defining your offer, just take a few moments to think about what objections will come up if someone looks at the offer, and how can you handle those? Can you actually build components into the offer, or just can you have good answers for these in your content and your sales? Limiting beliefs. What do people need to believe in order to believe that the offer is for them or is real for them? Okay. What beliefs are going to come up in someone's mind that could limit them from purchasing when they see this information? And how can we counteract that? Use some good propaganda in our marketing to eliminate that. Okay. So this gave us definition to convey the offer and its value in our marketing. And there's one big takeaway lesson you can take from this that I learned is a lot of people struggle to convey the value of their offer in marketing. And this usually comes from being too fluffy or intangible with the big promise. So even though you know your offer is valuable, you might have a hard time conveying its value to people in your content and your sales. And that's usually because of a lack of definition. And this is especially true in the mindset, health, spiritual, addiction coaching, etc. niches that are more intangible in nature. And Justin fell into this trap too. So originally when we started, the bold promise of his offer was basically just, I'll coach you for 6 months to improve your mindset in order to get better income, health, and relationships. By having this, it's a little bit vague and hard to market. So to sharpen this, we looked at our ideal client research and found that the main reason people actually purchase the program is to increase their income. If they were in a 9-to-5 job, they wanted to start a business to remove the cap and actually make more money. Or if they were already a business owner, they wanted to work with Justin to increase their revenue, remove some limiting beliefs to make more money. But ultimately, the tangible outcome they wanted was a 2 to 5x in their income. So they can have more time with their family, a new home, generational wealth, etc. These are all the second order consequences. Improving their mindset was just the mechanism to get them to the outcome they want, okay? But as you can see here, that was kind of like the bold promise before, when in reality, the bold promise should have been closer to what the outcome that the consumer actually wants is. So even though it's a mindset coaching offer, we rarely used that mindset coaching term at the forefront of our marketing. Instead, our bold promise became, I'll help you add an additional $10,000 to $50,000 a month to your income in 180 days or less while reducing your work hours. By doing this, we spoke to the outcome that our ideal client actually wanted first, and then we educated them on our mechanism to get results, which is mindset coaching later. Okay, so this is something that you can do with all your marketing is think about what's the core outcome, the end outcome that your ideal client wants, and then speak to that in your marketing and educate them on how you're going to do it with them later. Just a quick bonus step here as well before we get into step number 2 in this entire process is proof collection. So Justin had a lot of experience and results, but we didn't actually have much tangible proof of this. Because he was so busy coaching and getting client results, he never even thought about the fact he would need hard evidence for this in marketing. So we needed to bring all the proof that he had to the surface. And we did that in 3 steps. One was text testimonials. That's meant to say text. I got Justin to go through every conversation he had with his clients and take screenshots at key moments. So anytime they had a win, anytime they made money, anytime they just felt good or said thank you, anything, okay? These can even be small things like someone just saying, you know, you're doing a great job. We just want volume with these texts, and I'll show you how we use these later. The second thing we did was video testimonials. So I asked Justin to go through everyone he's ever worked with and create a video selfie using this script, this one right here. Feel free to pause it and watch it. Client interviews. The third thing we did was get Justin on actually interviews with his clients. So even though he'd worked with a lot of people, he had 0 videos of him speaking with his clients. And that's super common for coaches. They don't even think about this, okay? But we ran through this interview script right here. So feel free to pause the video. I'll move this so you can actually just watch this, okay? And we did 2 things with this information, okay? First was we uploaded all the client interviews to YouTube, okay? And the second thing we did was created a client result page, so a web page that's just directly dedicated to client results. At the top of this page, it was all the client interviews. Then the middle of the page was the video testimonials. And then the bottom of this page, we just uploaded all the text testimonials, all the screenshots we took, okay? Literally every single one, even if they just said thank you. So that way, when people click on this link on their mobile device, I don't have my phone here, on their mobile device, it's just an infinite scroll of testimonials. So it looks huge, okay? And this is a little trick that you can do. Even if you just have like 3 clients, screenshot all their texts they've ever sent you, put it on a page, and it will look like a lot of proof for people who ask in the future, okay? So that's our foundation set. Now let's start talking about how we actually use this in our marketing. So getting into step number 2, which is convert. Right here, we're going to be going through our core training. You can see we're building things step by step, our web profile, our setting script, and our pre-call sequence. So starting things off here with the core training. The core training is one evergreen video you record once, and its sole purpose is to convert cold strangers to warm book calls by the end of it. It's an asset that's designed to get people to know who you are, what you do, trust you, like you, and give them a clear next step. It's basically the entire buyer psychology window squashed into a few minutes, okay? And spoiler alert, for full transparency, this video that you're watching right now is a variation of a core training. It's designed in a specific way to have you click on this video not knowing who I am, and by the end of it think, holy shit, I need to send this guy some money so he can make my business more money, okay? Openly, that's my intention. Obviously, I want to give you some value as well, but I know that if I give you a lot of value in the correct order, you're automatically going to think about working with me too, okay? And this is a very powerful asset when you set it up correctly. Our close rate, which means the percentage of people that we closed on sales calls from people who booked directly from this VSL, was over 33%. And of the $382,000 we generated, just under $130,000 has come directly from VSL bookings. Extremely warm leads, meaning we didn't even have to speak to these people. No DM setting, no conversation. They just showed up ready to buy. And you can do the same thing when you set up your video correctly, okay? So here's the structure we use to get these results. It's a 10-step process in the core training. Bold claim, attention, proof, who it's for, who it's not for, core thesis, background, what we'll cover, breakdown, offer, and CTA. Okay, so let's go through all these. Bold claim. This is the big promise you're claiming someone will get if they stick around to watch the full training. And this is pretty much just pulled directly from the foundation work you did around your offer. So you can see how everything becomes a lot easier when you define your offer first, okay? Or define your foundation first. A good framework at the start of your core training is to say how you can achieve ideal outcome in time frame without pain points. So in our case, we went with how you can add an additional 10 to 50,000 a month to your income in 180 days or less, because the program's 6 month long, without learning new business tactics or career strategies, and while reducing your work hours. So this is obviously something our ideal client would be very interested in. The bold claim does 3 things, okay? It locks in attention, it makes the purpose of the video clear, and it also repels people who aren't your ideal client, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, my claim will make people leave the page, I want to include everyone, don't. It's good if people leave the page. You want people who aren't your ideal client leaving the page when they see the first few seconds of the video, okay? Second thing is attention. So here you just ask them to pay attention and repel time wasters. You can see how I did this at the start of the video. I just said, close out your other tabs, okay? And then step 3 is proof. Okay, this should say proof. So immediately what you want to do is once you've started the video and you've got someone's attention, just show proof that you actually have done what you said you've done. Okay, so show client results, show your results, show screenshots, make it tangible. Or if you don't have much proof yet, you can just reference authority. So for example, if you are teaching women how to lose weight, and you don't have that many case studies, you can say how to lose 30 pounds in 90 days without counting calories. And then in the proof section, you can reference a Harvard study that shows what you're teaching is true, and it's been worked for over 5,000 women. So you can frame it like that, okay? In this proof section, you can say, and this method has been scientifically backed by Harvard over the past 10 years of study. So that's what I mean when I say reference authority. Then you just say who it's for. So 3 to 4 bullet points, locking in your ideal client. Again, pulled from our foundation. Who this is not for, 3 to 4 bullet points to eliminate who you don't want. So just think, what type of person do you not want to work with? Who can you genuinely not help? Basically the opposite of your ideal client. Okay, again, you can notice how I did this at the start of the video, because we genuinely can't help everyone and neither can you. So you should let those people know right at the start. All right, so the core thesis phase of the core training, okay? And this section, before you get into teaching them anything about your service or your product or your program, this section is about shifting beliefs. So this phase right here is the key to make your entire core training work. And here's how I describe this, okay? If you're confused about shifting beliefs, I'll explain it to you. Let's say, for example, you are a keto fitness coach that helps women lose 30 pounds. Okay, it's just a really easy example. Your bold claim at the start of the case study might be this. So how to lose 30 pounds in 60 days. And now that you're at the core thesis stage of your free training, your core training, you've already made it clear that this is for women over 30. Okay, so in the section where you say who this is for, who this is not for, you're calling out your ideal client, you're eliminating them. So everyone who's still with you at this stage of the video listening, wants this outcome that you're claiming. They are your ideal client, but they just have not been able to get the results yet. And they've probably tried a million times before, because the truth is there are millions of ways to lose 30 pounds of fat. So your job at this stage is not to teach them how to lose 30 pounds of fat. You first need to get them to believe that your way is the best way for them. And the reason they have not succeeded before is because they just didn't know your way. If they don't believe in your way, if they don't believe your way is the best way for them and they don't understand the context around why you do the steps you do, when you teach it to them, it won't even make sense. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, that's manipulative marketing, or why do I have to put in all this effort? Because if you don't, you're doing a disservice to your customer. I mean, imagine if I just opened up this entire video and jumped straight into the part where I said, okay, here's your core training, here's your pre-call sequence. You'd be like, wait, what's a core training? Why should I even care? Who is this guy? And why did I click on the video? So there's a reason we structure it in this specific way where we shift beliefs before we teach people how to do it, okay? Because even if your information is correct and the best in the world, no one's going to listen to you unless they know it's going to benefit them and they believe that your way is the best for them. And here's the 3-part framework we use to shift beliefs: truth, reason, and so you can. So the truth is where you reconfirm what you want them to believe. So for example, you absolutely can lose 30 pounds in 90 days without counting calories. Then you explain the reason why most women or people fail. So the reason 99% of women can't do this and experience pain points of your ICP is because they don't understand how to put their body into a state of ketosis. This is where you introduce your unique mechanism, give it like a cool name that they'd never heard of to spark their curiosity. And then you can let them know, thankfully, since they're watching your core training today, they'll avoid these mistakes, and that there's only 3 things or 3, 4, 5 things, however many steps are in your mechanism that they need to actually drop their body fat. And today you'll walk them through these steps so they can get their ideal outcomes, okay? So you set it up in that way. Now their beliefs are shifted, okay? Now they have context as to why you do the steps you're going to teach them, and they believe that your mechanism is what they've been searching for. So the frame is now set. You have this hidden key that unlocks everything they've ever wanted, and you're going to graciously give it to them. Okay, that's the frame you've now set. And when you do teach them the steps later on in your core training, they'll actually listen and care. So once you've shifted their beliefs, again, before you start to teach them anything, you want to just give them a little bit of information on you and your background, just like I did in this video. And this is covering step 2 in buyer psychology, which is the element of trust and like. So here you want to share your life story, so your 0 to hero story, and you want to focus on accolades such as the clients you've worked with, relevant experience, results generated, industry associations, and certifications. And if you're B2C, so you're selling a consumer product, you'll probably have to focus more on this heavily. If you're more in the B2B space where it's service providing, agency type stuff, then you won't need to focus as much on your personal story. It'll be more about your relevant accolades. So you can shift this a little bit depending on your niche. Next step is just telling them what you're going to cover. So just tell them what you're going to cover, the 4 or 5, 3 steps in your process and in what order. And then you're actually going to get into the breakdown of how you do each of the steps you do, kind of like what I'm doing now, okay? Big note here, though, is don't just go splatter all the information randomly in bullet points and expect the audience to care. Instead, you want to present your information in this way. Start with the how, okay? How you actually do it, the template, actionable item. Then tell them why you do it and make sure you show them proof. So even with every step, so you've shown them proof at the beginning already, and then every single step you do in your process of the breakdown, you have to show them more proof that that step works. Because people have been sold to online for so long, the internet's not new. Every claim you make, the first question people are going to have in their mind is that actually real? So you want to just make sure you're constantly showing them proof and proof and proof, okay? For example, if step 1 in your process is to create ketosis, if you're a fitness coach, You can start with the how by saying count your weight and then divide it by 6, eat that amount for 7 days, just a made up example. We do this because it triggers the hormone that releases fat. Many women make the mistake of dieting but never enter ketosis, causing weight gain, pain, frustration, lack of sleep. And this is just a start, but some people actually see results right away. Just like my client Amy, who's 38 years old from London, who sent me this text after she dropped 5 pounds in the first 7 days after years of not being able to do this, okay? And then you show them a text from Amy or whoever your client is. Can you notice how that's much more effective than just saying, count your weight for 7 days and then do this, okay? There's a reason we structure it like this, because it makes people actually care and it makes them think it's real, okay? And then the last part in the core training is just the CTA at the end. Okay, so we're not selling anything directly from this training. We're just selling the idea of a call. So the end is just going to be asking someone to book a call using this framework. Okay, very simple. So that's the core training. And when you structure it correctly, you'll get good results just like this. Next step is your web profile. Now, let me break down what a web profile actually is. So most people don't realize this, but when you optimize your Instagram profile, it turns into an automated funnel that generates leads 24/7, even while you sleep. And I like to call it a web because it basically captures and converts attention for you. And there's 4 avenues for conversions when we optimize our profile. They're going to be your bio, okay? They're going to be your story highlights, your link in bio, and also your pin posts. You can structure these in a very strategic way to start converting leads right away without even posting content, which is crazy. And just to show you the importance of this, let me give you an example, okay? Just a fun example here, but it's going to show you the extremes in this case. So let's say there's 2 people, okay? They're both in the same niche. They are both fat loss coaches for women. Again, just sticking to the same niche, okay? Let's say they both spend $1,000 on ads, and this brings them in $10,000 profile visits, okay? So they spend $1,000, they get 10,000 people to see their Instagram profile. Just an example. We've got one guy over here called Josh on the left. You can see his profile is totally optimized, okay? He's got his description in his bio right here. It's telling you who he works with. His bio is optimized. He's got a CTA in here, okay? So people can DM him. He's got his core training link in his bio. His story highlights have results about me, and his pin posts are showing client results and his life story, etc., etc. Okay. Then we've got also Josh over here who posts daily tips to lose weight, and he's just sharing absolute nonsense on his page. Okay, so he's got a pin post of just him and his friends. He's got a meme that he likes and a photo that he likes. Okay, an extreme example here. Okay, but what's going to happen in either of these cases is they're both going to spend the same amount but get drastically different results. Okay. So when Josh on the left spends $1,000 and gets 10,000 people to see his profile, from his bio, he's probably going to get 20 leads, okay? People just DMing him that keyword because it's there, which is going to result in probably 2 calls. He's also most likely going to get around 200 clicks to his link right here, which if he structured his core training correctly, is also probably going to book 1 to 2 calls, okay? People are also going to click on his highlights, okay? Another avenue right here. And if he structures those correctly, it'll turn into 20 leads, which will turn into 20 calls. And the final element in this is around 50 people will most likely click on his pin post down here. And when he structures them in the way that I'm going to show you, this will most likely result in 5 calls. So because he did this correctly, he just spent $1,000, got 90 leads, 11 calls. And if he closes just a decent percentage of these, that's going to lead to 2 clients. And if he's only charging, let's say, for example, we'll just keep it low, $1,500, he's just made $3,000 from $1,000 without even posting more content, okay? It's just from an optimized profile. And if we look at the other Josh over here on the right, he's getting 0 leads because he has no bio, he has no link, okay? He's got no highlights. His pin posts don't do anything. So with $1,000, he's just lost $1,000. Okay. And this is just a fun example, but this really happens. Okay. This is what happens when you don't have an optimized profile. You can spend a lot of money on ads and get nothing back. Okay. So let's get into how to actually set up the web profile. So the bio, this is the bio framework I recommend. Okay. Put your name and then put the niche that you're in. So when people search that, you'll come up. Okay. Line 1 is who you help. So I help ideal client do outcome and time frame so people know it's for them. Line 2 is social proof, so you can put in anything that boosts your credibility. Line 3 is going to be a CTA, so DM me this keyword to learn more. That's how you capture leads. And then line 4 is just letting people know you have a core training. So click the link here. Okay. An example of this, just if Conor McGregor became a business coach, okay, could be something like this. Okay. Social proof here. Okay. Free training. Okay. That's the bio framework. And just to give you an example of the power of this, on days where we're busy and we're getting traffic, we'll get 10 to 20 DMs just from this bio alone. You can see on this day, we got 19 DMs just from our bio. Okay. Second thing is story highlights, okay? You want 2 main story highlights. One is going to cover your client results. So this can be all the results from your foundation, or it could be specific highlights telling each client story. And then you want a second highlight that's going to be your story. So this is a multi-slide story highlight that is telling your life story, pulled directly from the foundation. And you want to end each of these highlights with a CTA. So you can add a CTA that says DM you, or you can link to your core training or your client interview. And that way you're going to get daily leads. Okay. Just some examples of what we get every single day from the highlights that we set up one time. So you set it up once and it, serves you for life. Okay. The link in the bio, just put your core training that I showed you how to create. And then for the pin posts, okay, one post that you want to have. So you want to have 3 pin posts on your profile. These are the ones that are pinned at the top so people see them. The first one is going to be one about your story. So we created a reel based on our foundation, our life story. And it was a 0 to hero story that just followed this framework. Feel free to pause the video. And this one crushes it for us, okay? So when we first posted this reel, it only got like 2,000 views, okay? But because we have it pinned, it's now up to 10,000 views and it's got 129 comments. And people might think, okay, that's not amazing. But these 129 comments, they're not just comments, they're leads, because we have a CTA at the end of the video. That's right here, comment CTA. Where when someone comments a keyword, we have an automation set up that automatically DMs them and we start a conversation and book them in for a call. So we actually are getting 129 leads so far from this one post, okay? The second post you want is a mechanism overview. So this is a 45-second summary of your core training, going over the bold claim, the proof, the core thesis, and then you add a comment CTA where you send them the link to the core training. So this is just another avenue where people can get to know you and your core training, okay? You can see this is our post right here. 27,000 views because it's pinned, and 182 people commenting to request our training. And the third post is a choice, okay? It can either be a client result post if you're more focused B2B, or it can be a post about your results again if you're selling B2C, more consumer products. So we went with a carousel post and a long form caption, which worked really well because Justin's story relates directly to our ideal client. So if you don't have that, just use a client result. And when you put the web all together, that's how you create the lead generation machine. All right, the second last piece of the conversion process is the setting script. This is the process we follow for our DM script, okay? And it's a 6-part framework that we use for every conversation. Motivation, location, occupation, goal, pain, offer, call, send, calendar, okay? Now, most people fall into the mistake of thinking that DMs is about rapport building or selling. We're not trying to sell anything or even make friends in the DMs. Being friendly is nice, okay? But the main goal is to set quality calls on our calendar. So we treat the DMs like a screening process where we answer these 3 questions right here. And we're looking for green and red flags to decide whether we send our calendar or not. We want to protect our calendar at all times. And this is how we've booked over 540 calls, but also made sure they're high quality at the same time because we screen early, okay? Now, when I give you this script right now, I want you to remember 2 things. 1, customize it to how you actually speak. And 2, add in personalizations with context to the conversation. Do not sound like an AI, okay? So first thing we do is when someone messages a keyword, okay, we'll respond with this message right here. We'll ask them what motivated you to reach out to me today, establish the motivation. Second thing we'll do is we'll ask for their location and occupation to make sure they're qualified. Third thing we'll do is we'll ask what their goal is, see if we can help them. Then we ask what the pain point is holding them back. This is a really good question. And then we'll offer the call. Okay, feel free to pause the video to read these, and then we'll send the calendar. Okay, that's our entire script. We also added 3 extra steps to put this into overdrive. We added an outbound VA who sends 120 welcome messages to our new followers every single day. This results in 15 to 25 extra conversations and dozens of extra calls every single month, okay? And this is the message we use. You can see this works really well, even with 30,000 followers on our account. A huge chunk of our calls and sales come from outbound. You can see right here. If you have 100 million followers or 1 follower, you should be trying to speak to all of them, The second thing we did was place one of our trained appointment setters into Justin's account to handle all his DMs. This way he freed up his time so he could focus on coaching, sales calls, and content. Okay, as a business owner, it's vital that you outsource tasks like these so you can focus on high leverage activities. And the third thing we did was follow up a lot. So we sent 3 follow-ups to each prospect if they ghosted us during the conversation. And the pre-call sequence, this is the last step in the conversion process. And we have 90% done. If we turned on the flow of attention with ads and content right now, we'd still book a lot of calls. But the last part that's easy to forget is what happens between the call being booked and the call being taken. This is very important that a lot of people skip, okay? Most people just do nothing here and then wonder why they have a super high no-show rate and the calls that do show up are cold. So if you're experiencing anything like this right now, a no-show rate that's high, or the calls are just cold, this is the system that we used for Justin to achieve an 88% show-up rate, so nearly 90% show-up rate, and also ensure every lead was super warm, okay? So this makes the sales calls 100 times easier for you. One is Calendly. So we set up all our questions on Calendly. Okay, we use Calendly to book calls, and we added qualifying questions just like this one down here, and we just canceled appointments if they weren't qualified, okay? Second thing is the pre-call sequence. So this is a sequence that made sure people showed up and were actually warm. So the first thing that happened was they were redirected to a confirmation page after they booked a call. This had a video at the top of the page that told them how to confirm their appointment, the call rules, and also added some pre-framing. In the middle of the page, we had the call rules in a written format, and then we had more client results, getting them extra warm. We also sent them an instant confirmation email like this, where they had to click a button to confirm their appointment. This is really good for getting like serious people on the call. And we sent them pre-call reminders, this many, 48 hours, 24, 6, 1, and 15 minutes. And we sent them a DM on the morning of the call. And we also sent them a pre-call video in all those messages that covered who we are, what we do, proof, and addressing questions and objections. And putting this all together is how we achieved an 88% show-up rate with leads who are ready to buy. Okay. Phase number 3 is nurture. So let's run through this right here. In nurture, we're going to be covering organic content and stories. We use content to grow, nurture, and sell. When you structure it correctly, you can do it all. And in this section, I want to focus on how we used our content to nurture and sell. And then in the final section, I'll cover how we used our content to grow, how we actually used it to get new attention. Now, the reason nurture is vital is because, to put it bluntly, you are not special, and neither am I. I don't care if you're a men's dating coach in Colombia or a web design agency in New York. There are thousands of competitors offering the exact same services, promises, and offers you are. But on the flip side, there's millions of consumers online who will happily spend $5,000 on what you're offering. And these consumers only have 3 options. Never solve their problem, which we don't really care about. 2, spend their $5,000 with someone else, or spend their $5,000 with you. And if you want option number 3, then the consumer has to trust and like you more than your competitors. I always say this point, but it's so true. So if you're not putting out content that's specifically designed to nurture, you're losing out on thousands and thousands of dollars. And as with everything, starting with content, we lay the foundation. So instead of just guessing what type of content will work on the platform, like most people do, we look at what already works and just model it, putting our own unique spin on it. So everything we do starts with this research sheet right here. First, we look at already successful creators in the niche. So this applies to all niches, and save these people in a folder on Instagram called inspiration accounts. Next, we search niche-related keywords, just like this one up here, on Instagram and TikTok. For example, we search things like mindset coach, life coach, manifestation, law of attraction. And this gives us a great base to start getting content ideas. You can see if you actually search keywords like this on Instagram, it can be like a whole sentence. Instagram and TikTok will actually just show you reels in this category, which is super useful. Within this, we looked for outlier posts. So on the profile accounts for inspiration, and also when we search the keywords, we looked for outlier posts. And these are posts that performed way above the average. So for example, you can see the average reel views right here is 30K, 40K, 300K. And then there's some reels that got 3 million, 1 million. And these are called outlier posts because they perform much better than usual. So there's something about these posts that's working. We saved all these outlier posts in a folder called content ideas, and we use these to model the formats, okay? So we put all the links to these posts in one of our raw idea spreadsheets and then broke them down into different categories. We analyzed the hook, the body, and the CTA. And this is the way that every single post on social media is structured. It's hook, body, CTA, okay? Hook is the first 3 seconds of the video, body is the middle section, and CTA is a call to action at the end. Then we looked at what formats most of these posts were in. Were they threads, tweets, reels, or photos? And this gives us a really clear idea of what formats are performing in our niche right now. And this is different for every niche. So you can go replicate this process in your niche and you'll see exactly what's working. If you're not sure what any of these posts are, this is what a thread looks like. It's this one where it's multiple slides across and you can move it. This is what a thread is. Okay. This is what a tweet is. A tweet can also be put into a reel format. This is what a slideshow reel looks like. It's where there's text over background videos or photos, kind of like faceless content. And this is another form of a reel right here where it's talking head, okay, where it's actually you speaking to the camera. And then this is what a photo looks like. It can be a carousel or just one photo, usually lifestyle. So these are the categories for content. So now we know exactly what hooks and formats were working. We can take these templates and put in our unique elements, which means our ideal client pain points, desires, our own life story, personal values, mechanism. We structured this into a posting schedule each month that consisted of 4 threads, 2 to 4 tweets, and 22 to 24 reels. So posting every single day. And we split our content into 3 buckets: educational, personal story, and client results. And these 2 down here, personal stories and personal values and client results, these are nurture content, okay? And most people just miss out on these completely. Now, I view nurture content similar to a savings account. So you might have a savings account where you put a penny in every single day. And right now it doesn't seem like much, but over time it compounds to make everything else in your life easier. And you know you have your nurture content right when your DM conversations and sales calls feel effortless. So for example, when you're using our DM system that I just showed you and you're sending welcome messages, you should have people referencing your content or things that you've said, saying maybe they feel inspired by you. So for example, these are messages from our account. They'll say, "You inspired me. I relate to you. Your content was inspiring." Another example right here is people literally saying they've tried things and learned directly from your reels and your content. This person right here said they really tried one of our 1 to 3 things. And when you get messages like these, you know your content's hitting home. So you want to look out for this. And another example here, knowing that this is working, is everything feels smoother. So when you message someone from your account, they'll be open with you, they'll be more forthcoming, and they'll reference people that you might know because you've shared those in your personal life story and your values. Like this person knew one of the people we referenced in the reels, okay, one of the authority figures. We offered the call through our DM setting process and we closed them for $9,000 paid in full. And they were already warm because they'd seen our content, our nurture content specifically. Same with this example right here, another sale we closed directly from DMs. And this person said they were inspired by us already and they knew that we could help them, leave their current job and improve their life because our content was already done. So it makes the DMs and the sales much easier when you actually put a focus on content. And just to leave you with a little bit more value here, here's the exact template on one of our personal story reels that performed well recently, okay? So just for some context, this reel didn't do crazy numbers in terms of reach. It only got 90 likes and 34 comments. But the way we structured it meant that these 34 people right here are all leads, okay? They're all commenting to get access to our DMs and to our free training. And one of these leads we sent the message to automatically and actually converted into a $9,000 sale. So this one piece of free content that got 90 likes made us $9,000. And this is the template that we used, okay? So it was a slideshow reel. Okay, this is just an example of what a slideshow reel looks like, just so you know what the format looks like. It's not actually our post. This is the template that we used for this post exactly, okay? So in the hook, we said how we achieved the desired outcome of our ideal client. So in this case, we said how we achieved financial freedom with a point that relates to our ideal client, okay? In this case, it was a couples video of my client because a lot of our clients or a lot of our ideal clients are also in relationships. So it was how we achieve financial freedom as a couple. And then the body was our 0 to hero life story. So we told our life story in this slideshow format. And then the CTA was we asked them to comment a keyword for a free training. And that's the schedule we use to nurture and sell. Another huge element of this was stories. So this was the exact story schedule we used Monday through Sunday. You can pause the video. And the last step is attention, okay? So now that we have everything in place, we need to look at getting attention. How do we get new eyeballs from our ideal client? Do this in two ways, ads and organic content. Starting off with the first way, which is organic content. Now, our goal with content is never strictly to go viral. We only care about speaking to the right people and making sales from our content. However, since we post every day and our content's good, it uses proven formats, there are posts that naturally pop off. So for example, right here, this is a thread that went pretty crazy. Okay, nearly 5K likes, a lot of accounts reached. This is another example of a reel that got 50K views and a lot of reach. And at the end of every month, we'll review the data and pick out top performers. So we'll look at each post and we'll see how many leads did we get? How many calls booked did we get? What are the views? What are the reach in terms of non-followers? That means it's going pretty viral. And we'll look at real winners. And real winners have a combination of everything. So that means they get a lot of leads. You can see this one got 433 leads. Every comment's a lead for us. And it also reached 103,000 people, 90% non-followers. So that means this post is going viral and capturing leads for us. So it's doing everything at once. And then we just do more of that every single month. So the process is find what works, add your unique twist, post consistently in the schedule I recommend, review what works, and then do more of what works. It's that easy. And the key is just consistency. Do that month after month, and your results will compound into growth, a loyal audience, and sales. All right, the final part of this training is going to be the ads. So what ads do we actually use to generate all this attention and this ROI? For our results, we did not use meta ads. We tried them briefly, but found that shoutouts provided a much better return on investment in our case. Meta ads can work, don't get me wrong, so feel free to test them both. But when we use shoutouts, it worked a lot better. And when you do tap into shoutouts or influencer marketing in general, you can get some pretty insane results like the ones we got. And there's a reason for this, okay? 3 reasons actually. One is when you do them correctly, they're organic in appearance. So a lot of the times people won't even realize they're ads when you do influencer marketing and shoutouts correctly. When you run meta ads, they have the sponsored tag beside them. So people instantly know, oh, it's an ad. This person's trying to sell me something. When you do shoutouts in the correct way, sometimes people won't even know it's an ad. So it'll be even better, okay? The second thing is it builds authority. When you get your posts on big pages with millions of followers, you're an instant authority figure. When you start running meta ads, you're already on the back foot because your post might not have a lot of likes. People might not know who you are, so they don't really care. But if they see you on a page with millions of followers, they know you're important. And the third thing is it can be a lot cheaper due to less competition because most people don't know how to run shoutouts correctly. Now, how do you actually run a shoutout? 2 elements. One is you need to create an ad, okay? 2 is you need to pay a large page to post it. That's it. And the key is to find the right pages and to create a world-class ad. As always, we started with the foundation by referencing our ideal client, and we curated a list of theme pages in the mindset, motivation, and business niche. We selected pages with a majority US audience and who had an older demographic because our ideal client is older. Now, this is what our back-end sheet looks like because we work with some amazing partners who have all the data on pretty much every page on Instagram, okay? So you can see we have the channel name over here, how much it costs for each post, the followers, okay, insights, everything like this. I'm in a fortunate position to have access to all this because of my previous background and experience in running networks. But if you are new to this or you don't have this information on hand, you can just go ahead and DM influencers and pages, ask them what their rates are and send them, and for them to send you a screen recording of their insights. Step 2 is actually creating the ad itself, the creative. And the best performing shoutouts have 2 things in common. 1, they don't look like an ad, and 2, they're in thread format. So let me give you an example. So here's an example of a world-class ad, a really good shoutout. Now, before I break this down, I just want to let you know this is not a client of ours, okay? And also I blurred out the face and the account name just in case they don't want people knowing it's actually a paid shoutout, okay? So just for privacy reasons, I did that. But you can see here, it's a thread post and it has 3 elements. It has a hook right here with a really nice title, and the title makes it seem like it's just an organic post on this big page. It doesn't even seem like a post. It's super organic. The second thing is they have 2 to 9 slides of just giving value. So it's telling people exactly what their process is. So for example, in this case, it is a course and a personal brand that shows people how to start their Amazon business. So it's a make money online offer. So in the slides in the middle, they're actually teaching people how to do that. They're giving real value, and you can see the post is performing really well here. So it starts off by seeming really organic. You know, this man, this guy, it's like third person, seems like a real post. Then it gives value. And then at the end, it finishes off with a little bit more of this person's life story right here. And the CTA is to go follow the page. Okay. So at the end of this ad, you can actually put a CTA and tag yourself in all these slides, and then people will go follow your page. You can also add a CTA to go DM you as well if you want to get direct leads, which is what I recommend and what we did. Here's just another really good example of a fun post that is a shout out that a lot of people won't even know is a paid post. So you can read the headline here, and then the caption, super casual, just, you know, go check out this person. This is a paid post, okay? But it performs really well because it looks organic. To finish off here with a lot of value, here's the structure for one of our top performing shout outs ever. So for this shout out, we spent $1,000 and we made back $9,600 that same week, okay? And this is in tracked revenue. So we probably actually have a lot more that we can't track. This is just directly from this shout out, okay? So you can see here, we spent $1,000. We got 928 followers within 2 days. So $1 per follower. We got 161 leads in terms of DMs. So $6 per DM. And then you can see right here, contracted 9,600, collected this, okay? And this was the format we used, okay? Feel free to pause the video. I'll let you see this, move my head over here. The hook was, we did it in an organic format. So we said the country of my client, entrepreneur, generates these insane results and reveals X cheat code for life, okay? So this one reads like a news headline. So you can do this for yourself. For example, it might be Canadian entrepreneur generates $20 million and reveals 30 cheat codes for life, okay? So that's what you could do if that was your example. Then slide 2 to 9, we gave value. So we gave genuine value and education in bullet point format, including education, sharing some personal values and stories from our foundation. And these resonated directly with our ideal client, and it repels the rest. And then slide 10 was the CTA slide. We said, if you want more strategies, follow me and DM me this keyword, okay? That's how we got leads and followers. All right, and that is everything. I know we covered a lot today, but if you put these blocks in the right order, you'll grow a loyal audience of your ideal client, scale your offer to $50,000 a month and beyond. And honestly, you'll never have to worry about where your next client is going to come from. So since I already told you this is a core training, you probably knew this was going to come. But now that you understand how all this works, I do have an offer for you. If you are a niche expert who wants a proven system to package their knowledge, grow an audience, and acquire clients, or if you're a creator with a big following and you need help monetizing your audience, or if you currently have a proven high-ticket offer and want to scale it to $50,000 per month and beyond, or if you're just a business owner who wants to grow your influence and revenue at the same time, my team and I will help you implement everything we went over today and more into your business so you can achieve similar results to the one you saw in 1/10 of the time. And we can help you in 2 ways. The first is done for you. This is where we do everything for you. So we come in, we help you set up your foundation, we define your ideal client, your messaging, and your offer. Then in phase 2, we set up your conversion machine. So we script your core training for you. We build and manage your DM setting, which means we create the script for you, and we actually manage and place a setter for you. We optimize your profile. We script everything from your bio to your pinned posts. We set up your pre-call sequence, just like the one you saw today that got an 88% show up rate. In phase 3, we also generate and nurture all the attention for you. So we script, create, edit, and upload all your organic content every single month. We create, manage, and scale all your ads, which means we create the creative and we schedule them with all the pages. That means you get access to our entire 100 million plus network of theme pages and influencers. And we also test meta ads and shoutouts for you to see what works best in your case. Phase 4 is tracking, which means you get access to all our CRM and tracking systems, the same ones you saw today that give us all this accurate data. And you get access to one of our in-house VAs who manages this entire system for you, which means daily, monthly, and quarterly reports. So you're always clear on what's going on in your business. And phase 5, which is pretty insane, is support. So you get a weekly one-on-one call with myself and 24/7 access to me and my team in our private Slack channel. That's our done for you option. And to be honest, it's pretty epic. But we understand that not every business is at the stage of being ready for a done for you option. So that's why we have our second option, which is done with you. And in this option, we give you access to every single system we use, including the ones you saw today, the system for our foundation, ideal client, messaging offer, conversions, core training, DM setting script. We help you hire an appointment setter. We help you hire an outbound VA. You get all our systems for organic content, research sheets, all our advertising principles for templates on shoutouts, meta ads, access to our network, all our tracking. We also appoint one of our VAs to track everything for you, and the same level of support in the done for you option. So a weekly one-to-one call and 24/7 text access in our private Slack channel. So you get everything in the done for you option with the exact same level of support. We just help you implement it instead of literally writing everything for you month to month. So if you're interested in getting our help to transform your business and personal brand in either a done for you or done with you fashion, I invite you to book a free discovery call. Okay. The link to book that call will be the first link in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link it as the top link in the description. If you're watching this on maybe a website that we're hosting it somewhere else, I'll just put my full calendar below this video. Best case scenario with this call, it's a great fit right out of the gate. We onboard you right away and get to work scaling your offer and brand to get you similar results to what you saw today. And worst case scenario, it's not a good fit and you get a fantastic consulting call anyway. I'll give you some recommendations and send over resources to help you grow your business and personal brand. So either way, this call is going to be a complete win-win for you. I will make sure of it. And that's everything. So really hope you enjoyed today's video. Really hope you got value. It took a long time to put together. I literally hold nothing back, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, if you are someone who's at the point of this video, you're still watching, it means that you probably are someone we can help. It also means that maybe one or more parts of this video resonated with you. And yeah, I really look forward to speaking with you. I hope we can work with you, serve you, and help your business grow your brand in any way. So yeah, bye-bye. And I look forward to speaking with you.